beginning of the women's revolution.
We changed the perception of what females can do in this business.
The landscape of professional wrestling for women may be enjoying a post-revolutionary renaissance now, but we didn't arrive at this point in a vacuum, nor by accident. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be explaining every era of WWE women's wrestling.
The symbol of that evolution, the WWE Women's Championship.
The Carnival Era. We're resisting using the portmanteau of mansplaining with this topic, despite the elephant in the room being that the scriptwriter here is indeed male. This actually ties into the historical perceptions of vintage women's wrestling, the kind trailblazed by names like Mildred Burke during the 1930s and 40s.
Meanwhile, Mildred Burke has vowed to make whatever sacrifices necessary in order to support all the women who have shown solidarity with her.
Professional wrestling will probably always, like it or not, be connected to carnival culture. It's an uncanny combination of athletic contest and vaudevillian entertainment that continues to be seen, in many sectors, in a classist manner, something to appease the lower masses.
Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner has stopped the match due to the time limit. Mildred Burke is officially still the champion of the world.
This, of course, takes nothing away from the trails blazed by both Burke and her contemporaries like Mae Young. But it would take the shifting cultural mores throughout the decades for true appreciation of their work to come back around in the modern day.
What is Mae Young doing? Look out! Oh man, referee Jimmy Corderas goes flying. Mae Young's caught up in his shirt.
Those same societal politics would influence how women's wrestling would be viewed, primarily from the male perspective, within the eras between the carnival and the main event.
Look out, Mae! Mae Young tossed out of the ring. Ivory and Tori, Jacqueline and Lita. And look at Moolah. Moolah's gonna get in the middle of it. I can't believe this. Moolah wants Ivory.
The Valet Era. It should be said that WWE fans, even during the 1970s and 80s, would legitimately cheer women's matches on a card. The company just needed to give them a reason to care. The rock and wrestling boom of the 1980s showcased a, quote, changing of the guard, an attempt to connect with the younger generation watching MTV. We saw a new champion for the WWE's original Women's Championship, as Wendi Richter took the belt from the fabulous Moolah in 1984's The Brawl to end it all. The latter's reign was notable for longevity, with Moolah basically being the only game in town.
Putting the boots to the referee. Pandemonium broken loose here in the garden.
This was indicative of how the WWE viewed women during this era of valets. Wrestling, and the women's title, seemed to come second to having female beauty accompany the male stars to the ring. Personalities like Missy Hyatt, Miss Elizabeth, and Precious were big business during this era, while in-ring competitors like Rockin' Robin, Leilani Kai, Velvet McIntyre, and especially sensational Sherry would keep the company's belt alive after Moolah's reign of controlling her own booking.
The World Wrestling Federation Women's Champion, the sensational Sherry.
New generations, new attitude. Firestorm matches such as the one between Alundra Blayze, aka Medusa, and Bull Nakano at SummerSlam 1994 serve as a great example of a women's match that featured great crowd investment.
Trying to get her over for a Boston tap. I think she's got her. Oh, one-handed. Alundra Blayze hanging on.
These were two powerhouse performers that signified a coming together of worlds, that of WWE's new generation and of Japan's storied pro wrestling lineage.
I've never seen Alundra Blayze take this much punishment in a match. And still be resilient to that one, to it. Oh my.
Nakano came from a landscape where professional wrestling didn't receive the same social stigma as in the US, while Blayze was proof that words like beauty and strength didn't need to be mutually exclusive.
What a tremendous victory here tonight! Listen to this ovation! A tremendous competitor, a tremendous role model for all the young female athletes.
Yet there was still a way to go before a light could properly be shined upon an entire women's roster. Blayze's exit from the WWE would see the women's title being held by capable performers like Jazz, Ivory, Molly Holly, Jacqueline, or Chyna. The latter two even held singles gold from the men's division, such as the WWE Cruiserweight and Intercontinental titles.
And if you sign us up, I'll just take the belt and take it to the ring.
Right! I think I got it.
You carry it. You can carry it for me. I mean...
Yet there were also examples of the WWE's continued focus on prurient style, as opposed to performers with legitimate skill in the ring.
Looks so great, but yet be so violent. I mean, so angry. Why so angry?
Because Sable's jealous of Tori and Tori's defending her turf. It's a pretty simple formula.
The reigns of superstars like Sable, The Cat, and Deborah felt like fitting the square peg of the WWE Women's Championship into the round hole WWE performers that were always better suited to being valets. This is no insult, but it's important to remember here how the company was about to take a giant leap backwards in just a few short years.
Gonna be carrying all the gold now.
We got two champions coming to the ring, Chyna and the Cat.
In and out in minutes, Divas and Marginalization in WWE.
You know, I confided in you, I told you, I was just kidding, I wasn't even gonna, do the wardrobe malfunction again, and then someone went to Carano and told him that I was gonna do it, and he threatened to fire me.
Our criticisms here aren't intended to damn with faint praise. Valets and backstage personnel have, for years, left their mark on the industry, right alongside those who lay it all out there in the ring.
I wouldn't interrupt you if you were on the cover of, say, National Geographic. Well, not only is she a model, but she's a comedian too.
The era of divas in the WWE, however, underlines just how important physical attractiveness was for the company during the 2000s and 2010s. There was on-the-job training for fitness models, rather than hiring from the growing pool of independent wrestlers or established international stars.
Well, I'll tell you what, the entire WWE should be so proud of that beautiful young lady. I mean, this is a huge deal to be on the cover of Maxim magazine.
The branding of a new Divas division arrived with new competitors and a new belt, one that's been historically connected with a certain kind of lower back tattoo, colloquially referred to as a tramp stamp. This era, like anything, shouldn't be ignored, since there were many performers that made the Divas title matter over the course of its implementation.
I hope the Bellas win, so I can have my chance to take down their empire and become the most dominant diva in WWE.
Superstars like Mickie James, Beth Phoenix, Natalya, AJ Lee, and Charlotte Flair all lent legitimacy to the butterfly belt during their reigns.
Night after night, sacrificing their body. They cared about the WWE almost as much as they cared about us.
The latter two in particular fueled the fire for divas being treated with more respect. Or, in reference to Lee's famous tweet, being given a chance.
And yet they receive a fraction of the wages and screen time of the majority of the male roster. Hashtag use your voice.
A chance to perform in contests that lasted more than 3 minutes. A chance to escape from being forced to wrestle in their underwear.
Oh my God! It's coming off! And Tori wins!
A chance to avoid the WWE's very invasive camera lens that seemed to leer at their anatomy during every pinfall attempt.
Tori, it's not a match! Tori's oh yeah! Oh my God, well sometimes you gotta discipline your opponent, Cole.
These were all very real situations that afflicted the company's female division during this time. Was it a case of supply and demand? Maybe. The WWE's predominantly male demographic frequently clamored for such contests, and their requests were echoed not only by management, but even by the excited commentary of ringside voices like Jerry the King Lawler.
He was the epitome of not having a filter. If he saw it and thought it, he said it.
Oh, look at Lita, she's got the puppies in a net!
Change was on the horizon, however, as the quiet work being done by Divas legends like Lita and Trish Stratus were seeing results within the culture.
Trish Stratus faced Lita in the main event of Raw.
It was absolutely unheard of for the females to be in that position.
A new generation of women was being inspired by those who came before, coming up in the WWE's Reality Era and NXT branding to capitalize upon the growing interest of women in professional wrestling. Before Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Beyond Evolution, never going back. We currently enjoy an embarrassment of riches with regards to the role of women in the WWE. Lita and Trish's historic headlining of Monday Night Raw paved the way for future milestones in its wake.
That's the match that people talk about. This is the kind of stuff that, I can be proud knowing that we had some part of laying the foundation that the girls have built upon now.
PLE main events, women's Royal Rumble matches, entire premium live events devoted to a card dominated by WWE's finest female talent, like the Mae Young Classic and WWE Evolution.
For the first time ever on WWE, last woman standing, Lynch Charlotte live.
The roof is about to be blown off Nassau Coliseum.
And this doesn't even account for promotions like Stardom, which are completely devoted to women's wrestling. It's been a long road since the Territory days, where kayfabe aftermags like The Wrestler would showcase sleazy apartment wrestling matches between little-known competitors for an exploitation market. Yet it's also important to remember that those dark and sometimes seedy underbellies of the industry still exist. Fans can still find apartment matches if they want to, and that's a testament to just how connected wrestling will seemingly always be to our aforementioned carnival circuit. So what we essentially have is a revolution built on the back of a problematic past, one that has to coexist with established tropes and attitudes, just as it builds more acceptance and inclusion within the younger generations. Today's women wrestlers are savvier, smarter, and tougher than ever. They're talented athletes that have thrilled audiences with their storytelling and skill in the ring, all the way to headlining WrestleMania 35 and 37, and hopefully many more to come.
You can see the emotion in both women's faces. Bianca's on the verge of tears right now.
And it doesn't go along with that old adage of being good for a girl. No, women's wrestling may have evolved, but not into its final form.
Congratulations to the man, to Becky Lynch, for her dreams coming true.
And it's never going back.